Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's incredibly chilling and mysterious story, if you're new here, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy content like this, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out. We've got a truly baffling case lined up for you, one that's captivated the internet and left so many questions unanswered. Today we're talking about Elisa Lam. The year is 2013. A young, bright-eyed student from Vancouver, British Columbia, named Elisa Lam, embarks on a solo trip across the west coast of the United States. She's an avid traveler, documenting her experiences on her blog, sharing her thoughts, her art, and her struggles with mental health. Elisa was known for her unique perspective, her vibrant personality, and a deep curiosity about the world. Her journey was meant to be a transformative experience, a chance to explore, to learn, and to find herself. She meticulously planned her itinerary, which included stops in San Diego, Los Angeles, and Santa Cruz. Her trip began smoothly. She shared photos of the California coastline, the bustling streets of San Diego, and the iconic Hollywood sign. She was staying in budget-friendly hostels, a common practice for solo travelers. Her parents were in regular contact with her, and while they knew she was dealing with some personal challenges, they believed she was managing. On January 27, 2013, Elisa checked into the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. The Cecil Hotel has a dark and storied past. It's a place that has seen its fair share of crime, suicides, and even serial killers. Richard Ramirez, the infamous Night Stalker, lived there for a period, as did Austrian serial killer Jack Unterweger. The hotel, with its often grimy hallways and dimly lit rooms, had a reputation that preceded it. For Elisa, however, it was just another stop on her journey, a place to rest her head before continuing her explorations. Her parents expected to hear from her that day, as they had agreed upon a daily check-in. But January 27th came and went, without any word from Elisa. Initially, they weren't overly concerned, assuming she might have been busy or her phone battery had died. However, as the hours stretched into days, their worry intensified. They tried calling her phone, but it went straight to voicemail. On January 31st, 2013, after failing to make contact for several days, Elisa's parents contacted the LAPD to report her missing. The police initiated an investigation, checking her hotel room and interviewing staff. They found no signs of foul play in her room, no indication that she had been forcibly removed or harmed. Her belongings were still there, including her passport and her laptop. This absence of immediate evidence of a struggle only deepened the mystery. As the search continued, the LAPD released a statement describing Elisa as a 21-year-old Asian female, 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing 115 pounds, with brown eyes and black hair. They appealed to the public for any information regarding her whereabouts. The case took a bizarre and disturbing turn when the LAPD, in their ongoing investigation, obtained security camera footage from inside the Cecil Hotel. This footage, released on February 1st, 2013, sent shockwaves across the internet and the world. The video showed Elisa acting erratically in the hotel elevator. She was seen pressing multiple buttons, stepping in and out of the elevator, and at one point, she appeared to be hiding from something or someone, ducking down and peeking out. She gestured with her hands, sometimes as if talking to someone, and at other times as if warding something off. The footage was grainy, silent, and deeply unsettling. It painted a picture of someone in distress, or perhaps under the influence of something, or experiencing a severe mental health episode. The video quickly went viral. The internet, with its insatiable appetite for mysteries, latched onto the Elisa Lam case. Amateur sleuths, armchair detectives and conspiracy theorists began dissecting the footage frame by frame, offering their own explanations. Theories ranged from the supernatural, ghosts, demons, a haunted hotel, to the more grounded, though still speculative, ideas of a hidden stalker, a murder, or even a staged disappearance. The Cecil Hotel itself became a focal point of speculation. Its grim history, coupled with the strange elevator footage, fueled the belief that something sinister had happened within its walls. People pointed to the hotel's past, its reputation for being a place where bad things happened, as evidence that it was a breeding ground for darkness. The police, meanwhile, continued their official investigation. They conducted extensive searches of the hotel, including its rooftop. They interviewed guests and staff, but no one reported seeing Elisa after January 31st. The lack of concrete leads was frustrating. Then, on February 19, 2013, nearly 3 weeks after Elisa was reported missing, a hotel guest named Ryan Lam, who shared Elisa's last name but was unrelated, complained about the water pressure in his room. He also mentioned that the water had a strange taste and color. This seemingly minor complaint would lead to a horrifying discovery. A hotel maintenance worker was sent to investigate. He went up to the rooftop to check the water tanks. It was there, inside one of the 4 large, cylindrical water tanks, that he made the grim discovery. Submerged in the water, floating amongst debris, were the remains of Elisa Lam. The revelation sent a fresh wave of shock and disbelief. How did Elisa end up in a locked water tank on the roof of a hotel? The tanks were approximately 11 feet tall and 4 feet in diameter, with heavy lids. The rooftop itself was supposed to be secured, with access only through a locked door, and the tanks required a ladder to access. The autopsy report, released later, revealed that Elisa had drowned. There were no signs of physical trauma that would indicate a struggle or assault. Her body was found naked, but the report stated that the lack of clothing could be due to decomposition and the movement of her body within the tank. Crucially, the autopsy also found that Elisa had bipolar disorder and was not taking her prescribed medication. This detail became a significant factor in the official explanation of her death. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office ruled Elisa Lam's death an accidental drowning. The official conclusion was that Elisa, possibly in a state of psychosis due to her untreated mental illness, had climbed onto the roof, somehow accessed the water tank, and entered it, where she subsequently drowned. The heavy lid, they surmised, might have fallen shut, trapping her inside. The lack of injuries was attributed to her likely being disoriented and not resisting. However, this official explanation, while plausible on the surface, failed to satisfy many people, especially given the circumstances. The internet detectives continued to poke holes in the theory. How could she have climbed into the tank? The lids were heavy and difficult to open. How did she get onto the roof in the first place if the access door was locked? And if she was in such a disturbed state, how did she manage to navigate the hotel, access the roof, and climb into the tank without being seen or heard? The security footage from the elevator, which had been released to aid the search, was re-examined with renewed scrutiny. Some people believed that the footage showed her being followed or interacting with someone who was not visible in the frame. Others pointed to the fact that the footage was released after she was last seen, and some questioned its authenticity or completeness. Then there were the bizarre coincidences. The release of the elevator footage coincided with the release of a short film titled Number 247 on Vimeo, which featured a similar elevator scene and seemed to eerily mirror Elisa's last known moments. The filmmaker later stated it was a coincidence and that the film was shot months prior. Another strange element was the presence of a death-themed scavenger hunt called the Lam Ick Exploration. that was reportedly taking place in downtown Los Angeles around the time of Elisa's disappearance, though there was no evidence linking it directly to her case or the Cecil Hotel. Furthermore, the water quality complaints that led to the discovery of Elisa's body were also questioned. Some found it hard to believe that no one had noticed the foul water or the body for such an extended period. The Cecil Hotel had a history of plumbing issues, and the tanks were not regularly inspected, which made the discovery of a body in one of them seem, to some, less like an accident and more like a cover-up. The theory that Elisa was murdered gained traction. Some proposed that a serial killer, perhaps still residing in the hotel or operating in the area, had targeted her. The lack of immediate evidence of foul play in her room was explained by the possibility that she was lured out or attacked elsewhere. The killer, they theorized, then disposed of her body in the water tank. The locked roof and water tank became a supposed attempt to conceal the crime. Another theory suggested that Elisa was part of some sort of experiment or ritual, given the hotel's dark history. The idea that she was not alone in the elevator and that whatever she was reacting to was not visible to the camera fueled these more outlandish theories. Some even suggested that the footage was manipulated or edited. The case of Elisa Lam became a prime example of how the internet can both aid and complicate investigations. While the viral spread of information and the collective efforts of amateur sleuths can sometimes bring new perspectives, it can also lead to the proliferation of misinformation and unsubstantiated theories. The sheer volume of speculation often overshadowed the facts and the official findings. Elisa's family, understandably, was devastated by her death and the subsequent media frenzy. They publicly expressed their grief and their desire for privacy. They worked with the authorities and accepted the coroner's verdict, though the unanswered questions undoubtedly weighed heavily on them. The Cecil Hotel, after years of decline, was eventually renovated and rebranded as the Ace Hotel, downtown Los Angeles. The new management aimed to distance the hotel from its dark past, though the story of Elisa Lam remains inextricably linked to its history. The Elisa Lam case serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of mental illness, the dangers of solo travel, and the enduring power of unsolved mysteries. It highlights how a single disturbing piece of evidence, like that elevator footage, can ignite the imagination and lead to a multitude of interpretations. Was Elisa Lam a victim of a tragic accident, exacerbated by her mental health struggles? Or was there a more sinister explanation, a crime that was never brought to light? The official verdict points to an accident, a confluence of unfortunate circumstances. But for many, the lingering questions, the unsettling footage, and the dark history of the Cecil Hotel continue to fuel the debate. Elisa Lam's story is a cautionary tale, a poignant reminder of a young life cut short, and a mystery that continues to haunt the internet and the collective consciousness. It's a case that forces us to confront the unknown, to grapple with the limits of our understanding, and to acknowledge that sometimes the truth can be far stranger and perhaps more tragic than fiction. Thank you for joining us today for this deep dive into the Elisa Lam case. It's a story that truly sticks with you. If you have any thoughts or theories about what happened, we'd love to hear them in the comments below. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the unexplained. We'll see you in the next one. Stay curious and stay safe.